Well, howdy once again. We are with Mario Villarino, our Hopkins County Ag Extension
Thank you for having me again.
agent. And we're going to talk with Mario in this little second cup of coffee conversation about indoor plants. You put out a news release on indoor plants.
And it has to do with the time of the year. You know, we're dealing with, being outside a little bit kind of gloomy, a little bit cold here and there. And, well, we need to kind of cheer ourselves up. Having some friends inside that, and that's where those plants come in place, that actually create a positive impact in your life if you have indoor plants that can stay green for a little longer and maintaining healthy.
Well, you mentioned several here, and I had never heard, I don't believe, of any of these. These are all low maintenance.
They are,
plants.
and we have experience and we have seen some publications that actually certain plants like Sansevieras and so on, our friends that we keep inside indoors, we're lucky in the office we have some of those to maintain our spirit going.
Good. Yeah. One is called, the first that you mentioned is the snake plant.
Snake plant. That's one of those who it was actually heavily researched by NASA and a very good contributor of oxygen, very low-key plant, very, very high tolerant of neglect and very high tolerant of drought. So the conditions in a potted plant are very unique because it's a very small space. Right. So you have to have a plant that actually can handle that biological condition.
So you said of the snake plant, it requires low light and low water.
Perfect for the indoors. And you probably see them most of the on the magazines and so on because they've been adopted for these companies to maintain what we call the bioaffinity, people who like to be close to living things. And when they're enclosed all the time, plants are a major role on that.
Well, now that's something I meant to ask you straight off the bat. You mentioned health benefits.
Right. Yes, because they make you feel good. They make you feel better when you are, especially if you're for a long time in an office or in a small confined environment, that you have something green up, cheering you up.
Sure. Another one you mentioned is the ZZ plant.
The ZZ plant, yeah, that's actually an African variety that is pretty. It's not really a cacti, but it's a plant that can handle low humidity and contained spaces.
All of these basically require little water.
Very little, and can tolerate weeks, if not months, of dry weather.
And some then require moderate light, but not a lot of light.
They're actually selected to be growing inside.
Okay, so pothos is another?
That is one of those ivies that you will see it all often. It's a green marble type that is actually very sturdy. It's one of those ones that gardeners said is hard to kill if you really mean to even do it. So it will stay green for a long time.
The ponytail palm.
That is something that actually was suggested to us, and I haven't seen that yet, but I saw it on the recommendation from Extension. It's one of those plants coming from the south in Hawaii that they're available in the market to get it.
And there's another, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Dracania?
Yes.
Species.
That also came from a good friend of us from the office that actually worked with plants. And she mentioned that a good option.
So there's five recommendations here if you want to see these for yourself. Yes. It's on the KSST radio.com website, and I'm sure other places on your website.
Right, it is, and Extension has it published too, so make sure you get a friend this winter to keep you smiling.
Are these plants readily available in garden centers?
They are from time to time, and there are actually businesses that specialize on this, but luckily enough, our retailers around town, you can get them. Yeah.
We're out of time, but we should also mention, and you mentioned in your news release, need to be careful about any plants that might be toxic to pets.
Pothos is one of those. That
Oh.
that ivy that you may be very careful if you have indoor cats or indoor dogs, because number one, they're just bored like you are, so they will come out and grab something they shouldn't, and it's been known to have some toxic effects.
Okay, so look into that.
Yep.
All right, Mario Villarino, our Hopkins County Ag
Thank you for
Extension
having me
agent.
again.
Thanks for having that second cup of coffee with us. I'm John Mark Dempsey. This
You
is
bet.
KSST.